Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host, Nathan P. Butler, author of A Saga on Home Video, a fan's guide to U.S. Star Wars home video releases, and this time we're taking a look at something from outside the U.S. and turning our attention to the U.K. Very recently, of course, we saw the home video release of The Last Jedi, and in the United States, we had quite a few different variants available, and I detailed them all in an episode here on the show. What we want to do this time is do the same thing, only for the UK releases that came out a couple of weeks later. My plan was actually to have all this ready to go for release on May the 4th, as in May the 4th be with you. My wife actually wound up in the hospital for a couple of days, and that pushed back recording quite a bit, but I am able to get it out here within, a matter of a day or two after May the 4th. So we're still celebrating May 2018 here. It's the release month for Solo. It's the anniversary for all 6 of Lucas's Star Wars films, and it is also the first anniversary of the release of A Saga on Home Video. So you'll see quite a few episodes of From the Star Wars Home Video Library this month, starting with this one for the UK Last Jedi releases, and next time looking at the Movie Next Premium Limited Box Edition for The Last Jedi. Also playing around with a little bit of new lighting here. Please feel free to give your feedback, especially if you've watched the last few videos I've put up where I've talked about the changes to the hardware setup here. Hopefully it's not doing that pulsing color thing because of the changes of lighting anymore. I've got a new lamp sitting right here, kind of off to the edge. We are at the 1080p aspect ratio instead of that zoomed in version of it. So hopefully you're going to get a better presentation out of this than for some of the previous videos. Now, before we start looking at actual releases, let me give a big thanks to Ricky Ray and Julian Smith, both of whom helped me acquire these UK releases for my collection and to focus on here on the show. So, in the US, you may recall that the absolute most basic way to get yourself a copy of The Last Jedi was on DVD. And it was a package that was marked with that black band that says DVD only at the top, this kind of cover, the back that had the little quote there, and then a description of the film itself, along with your pictures, Ray, cast crew information, and that sort of thing, and that our disc label was essentially the Battle of Crate. And we did get Disney Movie Reward points out of purchasing that copy. No digital copy, but at least Disney Movie Rewards. Well, in the UK, the most basic way to get it was also on DVD. But again, as we've seen so many times in the past, no Disney Movie Reward points, just the DVD copy, but the look is fairly similar. This is your DVD copy here. You have similar cover art here. You then have your ratings down at the bottom as required by law. Here's your DVD symbol over here that just says DVD video. There is no black band saying DVD only at the top. Your spine's kind of what you'd expect, Lucasfilm logo. Then you've got your product number, Star Wars The Last Jedi, the ratings, and the DVD symbol. The back is similar but does star ratings up here instead of a quote prior to the little description. Similar pictures off here to the side, and then everything kind of spread out on the bottom to give all the disc information and rating information that is required on a UK release, as expected. Now, the disc label, again, pretty much the same. Right there. Biggest difference there being, of course, the ratings that are on it. So you've got DVD, Lucasfilm, Region 2, copyright date, product number, ratings, and the film's title up there. The biggest difference between these, when you actually pop it into players that can play them, because again, this is DVD, so region makes a difference in many people's cases, most people's cases, unless you have a region-free DVD player. In this case, for the US version, you can go through and change your language options to be able to hear English, English descriptive audio, Spanish, that is Latin American Spanish, or French. Whereas on the Region 2 version, which of course is the one from the UK, you can have English descriptive audio and regular English. Same thing. You can also have Spanish, but it's Castilian and a Catalan Spanish, not Latin American Spanish, and no French option here. Okay. As for subtitles, you've got subtitles for Danish, Finnish, Icelandic, Norwegian, Portuguese, Catalan Spanish, Swedish, and English. And for the US, your subtitles are in English, Spanish, and French. So again, kind of that same pattern that we've seen with the different language options when we go from US releases to UK releases, because you've got ones that are more common for the Western Hemisphere versus languages more common for Europe. Exactly what you would expect. Now, I mentioned the region difference here. I would note that very soon, hopefully, I'll be able to start providing you a little more specific info. I have actually just finally gotten in the mail what should be a DVD player that will allow me to watch whatever the hell region I want. I'm going to hold off on recommending the specific model for those who are looking to be able to do that until I actually have a chance to try it out. But I'll be able to report that probably in the upcoming episode on the 2006 original trilogy releases in the collector's tin from the UK that's similar to the Best Buy one from the US. When we do that episode, I will have actually tried out all those discs on this new DVD player, and hopefully all will work well. What I found is that what I had been using in the past, fairly recently, was basically just a crappy little LG external DVD drive that I could put the disc in and then use VLC, Videoland's media player, to go through and play the disc regardless of region. That worked for many of the DVDs I tried from Region 2, but not for all of them. It seems that the ones from around 2006 and before that have that interactual, preloaded, you put it in your computer, it will try to play it thing, caused it to have some issues playing those discs. So I wasn't able to check out the 2006 ones, which is actually why I picked this up here for about $65 or whatever it is. So hold off. If you happen to have seen the model number as I held it up there, hold off. Wait till I let you know if it actually works before you try to do it. But this may be a viable solution for those who want to pick up things from the UK or elsewhere and be able to watch them in the US. Thankfully, though, you don't have to worry about that for Blu-ray, Blu-ray 3D, Ultra HD Blu-ray, because generally speaking, those tend to be region-free, even though there are specific regions that they could lock them to. Thankfully, Star Wars releases generally do not do that. You may recall that in the United States, when it came to the Blu-ray version, you had several options, but the basic one was this so-called multi-screen edition. It had Blu-ray and digital, but no DVD, and had this sort of silver lining, so to speak, silver border going around it that was now the standard for Disney's different releases. You saw it with Thor Ragnarok, for example, here. Okay? But it was basically just Blu-ray and digital, which took out the DVD that usually would be the case in the US. Whereas if you ordered it from Disney Movie Club, there actually was a Blu-ray DVD digital version of it that otherwise was essentially the same. Well, in the UK, they did something a little bit different. Their regular version, their primary version, which was, again, just Blu-ray, no digital copy, as is the norm over there, they decided to take a similar approach to what they did with The Force Awakens, which is to have their regular version available with two different slip covers that could go over top of it. Originally, it was essentially the light side and dark side versions when we looked at The Force Awakens. This time they call it the First Order and Resistance versions. This is the First Order version. Okay, so you've got your little symbol up there in the top corner. This says the First Order Limited Edition Sleeve 2-disc Blu-ray, right? Because it's going to have the film disc and the bonus disc. Has its product number underneath there. It is a sticker. Then we've got our art there with Phasma, Star Destroyers, TIE Silencer, Praetorian Guard, Kylo Ren, film title, Blu-ray symbol in the corner, ratings in this corner. You have one spine that's just Blu-ray symbol, Lucasfilm, the little hole that's up in there, product number and ratings. The other side is going to give you Blu-ray symbol, Lucasfilm symbol, Star Wars, The Last Jedi. The back has your stars up at the top, same little description, Kylo and Luke. Character faces going across, cast crew info, vital stats for the discs as we go down, and then eventually your ratings and UPC symbol as one would expect. Again, we want to talk about language options here. In this case, you have English, French, Hindi, and descriptive English available to you with subtitles in Arabic, Danish, Dutch, Finnish, Norwegian, Swedish, French, and English, right? So different language options than you would see in the US, but that is the primary difference between the discs. Now, you take this off, and here's where it starts to look like the US version, basically, right? So you've got essentially the US style art there. You've got the ratings down there and the Blu-ray symbol down here, as is common for the UK releases. You have a back that's similar to the slipcover. You have a spine, right? It has Blu-ray, Lucasfilm, Star Wars The Last Jedi, the ratings, and the product number, right? As one would expect in a typical blue Blu-ray case. And inside you have your discs, and these discs are essentially looking like the US ones, except of course with slight rearrangement to include your ratings. So here's the film, Blu-ray symbol, Lucasfilm symbol, Star Wars The Last Jedi, ABC region symbol, copyright date. Over here, the ratings, bonus disc, Blu-ray symbol, Lucasfilm, bonus, product number, region ABC, copyright at the bottom, ratings over here, Rian Johnson talking to, I was going to say C-3PO, but I guess talking to Anthony Daniels as C-3PO in there on the disc. No DVD included, no digital copy, but that is typical for a UK release. But this regular version, at least when you first buy it, is going to be available in either the first order sleeve or you have a Resistance sleeve available as well. So we have a different type of cover art here. Luke, Finn, Rose, Rey, Poe, BB-8, Chewbacca, Millennium Falcon, X-Wings, Leia, C-3PO, R2-D2, and so on and so on. Ratings, title, Blu-ray symbol, the Resistance limited edition sleeve, 2-disc Blu-ray. Similar spines to what we just saw on the other one. Similar back to what we just saw on the other one. Open it up, and the interior again. Same thing as the other one. The only thing different is the sleeve. So this is going to be the same thing as it rattles and rattles and rattles. I do have the discs in the opposite order here. Okay, but same thing you got in the other. What you will notice, though, if you are sharp-eyed, is you're like, wait a second. I've seen that one before. And you know what? Pretty sure I've seen that one before, too. Where the hell have I seen them before? Well, you've seen them before in the U.S. at Best Buy on the Steelbook. This was the U.S. Best Buy Steelbook. There's your Resistance cover from the UK. There's your first order cover from the UK. Okay? Spine's different, but essentially what they've done is they've taken the art from the front and back of the US Steelbook and made it into the first order and Resistance sleeves. Or you could say the other way around. They took the first order Resistance sleeve art and turned it into the Steelbook for the US. Which, by the way, I did misspeak about last time out of ignorance. I had assumed that because it's pretty much always the case that this one from the US is the WWA Worldwide Art Steelbook, and it was the one we were going to see from the UK from Zavvi. That's the one with world exclusive art, or WEA Steelbook artwork. Turns out that is not the case. It looks like the US one is the WEA one that's not available anywhere else, except as variants of like sleeves and such. Whereas the UK Steelbook actually looks like the ones you find in the rest of the world, making it the WWA one. We'll look at those from Zavvi in a moment. But suffice to say, the Resistance and First Order sleeves from the UK are essentially the two sides of the US Steelbook. Now over here in the US, if you wanted to get it on Ultra HD Blu-ray, you had basically two options. You could either get one of the two Best Buy Steelbooks or get the regular version, which is this, known as the Ultimate Collector's Edition. Again, we have a sleeve over packaging underneath. We have one of those borders, only this time it's in gold instead of silver. 4K Ultra HD at the top, 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray plus digital. And there's our artwork there that is essentially the same artwork as on the regular US versions, those multi-screen editions, or what's inside the UK special slipcover versions. Same art, just in this case given that border and the format that makes it uniform with the rest of the recent Disney releases. The one from the UK, while the disc art may look the same, has a different cover to this one, because notice here, Rey at the top, then Luke and Kylo, then Leia in the center, and so on. Instead, for 4K in the UK, boy, that's going to get old, me saying that a lot, 4K in the UK, right? The release was this. I think this looks a lot cleaner looking. 4K Ultra HD, 4K Ultra HD, plus Blu-ray, plus bonus disc, no DVD copy, no digital copy on this one. DVD typically, even in the US, is not included with the 4K copy, but digital usually is. This is just Blu-ray and 4K, so 3 discs, as we're used to. Then notice here Luke and Kylo kind of up higher, then Leia in the center. We got Rey with the red. That should look familiar to those in the US, but we'll come back to where it's actually from. We have the title, then we have the ratings down in the corner. Spine, the one with the little hole, Ultra HD Blu-ray, product number, ratings, Lucasfilm. Other side, Ultra HD Blu-ray, Star Wars The Last Jedi, product number, ratings, Lucasfilm. The back, very different than the other one that we just saw, but similar to the US version, only, rearranged to make room for things like the ratings. So we have 4K Ultra HD, the ultimate movie watching experience, you know, for now, because that's what Blu-ray was, right? And that's what DVD was before that, and so on. Okay. Characters, battle with the guards, star ratings, description of the film, breakdown of what's in it, the reminder of what you actually need to be able to play this, right? You're going to need a 4K TV that has HDR to get the best experience, an Ultra HD Blu-ray player, and a high-speed HDMI cable. And then you've got your stats about the film and whatnot down into the ratings. You pull off the slipcover, and the interior essentially looks the same. Main thing, really, is they just sort of changed the dimensions just a little bit of these boxes so it looks a little better. Okay. Inside, we have our 4K disc. It looks a lot like the US version. Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Lucasfilm logo, image with Rey, 4K Ultra HD, ratings, Ultra HD Blu-ray, product number, and copyright. And then there's our film disc and bonus disc on Blu-ray again. Now, 4K Ultra HD may be the way to watch movies now, but for some of us, we're still kind of stuck in the last fad and really wanted something that made no appearance in the US. Thankfully, it got an appearance in the UK, and that is Blu-ray 3D. Okay? The US had no 3D release at all for The Last Jedi, right? So, The Force Awakens got a 3D release, but it was later in a collector's edition. Then Rogue One, you could get a 3D disc, but you had to get it either from Best Buy or from Target. Get to Last Jedi, screw 3D, the US market for 3D has essentially collapsed, and you very rarely see companies actually still putting out 3D Blu-rays at all, and Disney is one that has basically said, screw it, we're done, and stepped away from it, at least over here. Thankfully, in the UK, we had a region-free, or all-region ABC, Blu-ray 3D release that allows us to watch it over here if we import it. Thank you, UK, for keeping 3D alive. Those of us in the US who love 3D are very proud of you for doing that and very happy that you have done that. So, similarly to what we got with Rogue One, we have a packaging with the red border for 3D. Notice that is the same art there that was used on the 4K release. Blu-ray 3D also includes 2D Blu-ray plus bonus disc in pack. It says up there at the top. Star Wars: The Last Jedi 3D, ratings on the side, Blu-ray 3D down in the corner. A back that is very similar to the regular version, not the 4K version. Spine, Blu-ray 3D, Lucasfilm, Star Wars: The Last Jedi 3D, product number and ratings. Other side, Blu-ray 3D, Lucasfilm, the little hole, product number and ratings. Take off the slipcover. We have a blue package on the inside where it's got the similar art, but it's got that sort of red dip to it for the Blu-ray 3D thing, just like we saw with Rogue One. Similar design to back and spine. You open it, and two of the discs are just your regular Blu-ray discs, but the 3D disc is a new one for us. You have Rey there standing, facing away with the staff. Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Blu-ray 3D, Lucasfilm, ratings, region ABC, thank God! At the bottom, copyright date, product number off there to the left. So yes, this actually is a way to still watch it in 3D outside of the UK in regions where otherwise you wouldn't be able to. Again, you can do this on a 3D television with many Blu-ray players. Also bear in mind that an Xbox One, a PlayStation 3, or a PlayStation 4 can all play 3D Blu-ray discs on a television, a 3D television as well. Or if you have a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation VR headset, PlayStation VR can be a one-person 3D Blu-ray experience with the three different sizes of screens that you can adjust it to. It's kind of a solitary experience, not my favorite way to watch a Blu-ray 3D disc, but if you don't have any other way to do it and want to try, PlayStation VR will do it. And it's such an awesome experience gaming-wise that, hey, if you got a PlayStation 4, why don't you hunt one down already, right? Now again, you may be saying, I know this cover art. I know it's not the regular cover art, but I know I've seen it before. You know, Luke and Kylo and then Leia and the Rey with the red. I've seen it before. Yes, because the art that's used in the UK for the 4K and 3D versions is the same art that was used for the Target exclusive version in the US. Okay, so again, reused artwork in a different format in a different region. For the record though, before we move on, The Walmart exclusive version from the US doesn't have any kind of packaging equivalent for that one in the UK. Now, if you were in the UK and you went to Sainsbury's to buy yourself a DVD copy, 4K, 3D, First Order Blu-ray, Resistance Blu-ray, any of those regular versions that were widely available, if you bought them at Sainsbury's, you could have gotten yourself a free book. This, of course, is the junior novelization by Michael Code of Star Wars The Last Jedi. Notice there's a little thing that says free book. Free book when you buy Star Wars The Last Jedi, DVD, Blu-ray, 3D, or 4K. Star Wars The Last Jedi novelization book, £3.49 when bought separately. While stocks last, offer ends 15/4/18, which is April 15th of 2018, because, of course, the whole flip-flopping of month and date as compared to what the US does. But this is the UK version. Notice they're published by Edgemont, though it is very similar to the US version. I haven't done my information for this for the Star Wars Timeline Gold yet, so there's still tons and tons of post-its and such in it. But very similar as far as content goes, but you'll notice there different cover art choice. The UK one puts Luke at the top with Rey and Kylo before middle Leia, whereas the US version has Rey at the top with Luke and Kylo there as your middle point, as I somehow am not able to hold them together there. I just can't hold it together! But yeah, hey, free book. Now in the UK, there were also some exclusives. In the US, the exclusives were Walmart, Target, Best Buy, and basically Disney Movie Club, even though they never really marketed it as an exclusive. That was the multi-screen edition that actually had the DVD disc right alongside the Blu-ray inside it. Well, in the UK, you had two different exclusive versions available, or three, depending on how you count it, kind of like the way we had to kind of count the Steelbooks from Best Buy, either as a variant or two variants. There were Steelbook variants available in the UK that were exclusive to retailer Zavvi, as has been the case with the previous two films, and the UK once again got one of those cool big sleeve editions, this time as an exclusive to Tesco Direct. Interestingly though, whereas in the US when it came to the Steelbooks, our options were Blu-ray DVD digital or 4K Blu-ray digital, the UK Steelbook options came down to the primary components being 4K or 3D, not 4K or regular HD. Both included regular HD. This is the 3D one. Okay, now we always have these little kind of cardboard pieces that go with these here. So cardboard piece there says Star Wars The Last Jedi, has the three droids, Blu-ray 3D in the corner and the ratings in the other corner. Has the ratings and the product number on that side, ratings and product number on the other, a back similar to backs we've seen before, and then you actually take out the Steelbook itself, so that's just the little cardboard cup, so to speak. There's your Steelbook. Again, this is the one that you see elsewhere in the world as well, so this is the WWA. The US one was a WEA one. We have Rey there with her lightsaber, Star Wars The Last Jedi, the droids again, so this part looking very much like what it looks like on the little cardboard sleeve. The back, Kylo Ren, spine, Lucasfilm logo, very small, Star Wars The Last Jedi, Blu-ray logo down at the bottom. Interestingly, a Blu-ray logo, not the Blu-ray 3D logo. You open it, though, and notice the discs that are inside. You've got your regular Blu-ray copy of the film, Blu-ray bonus disc, Blu-ray 3D disc. Then without the discs, it's the Battle of Crate as the back of the Steelbook interior. But notice when I put this back inside the little cup here, both ratings are together off to the left here, okay? And there's nothing at the top. It's just a cup that basically goes over the bottom here and the full back in the back, but it doesn't fold over the top or anything. There's a different design for 4K. This is your UK Zavvi exclusive 4K version. Notice it's got the cardboard piece on it again, only notice that the two different ratings, right, for the UK and Ireland have now been split, one to each corner. The Blu-ray 3D logo is nowhere to be found, and because Ultra HD has its up at the top all the time, there's not one on the bottom part for 4K. Up on the top here, we have 4K Ultra HD, 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray plus bonus disc, and this is actually a fold-over piece with a little piece of tape that folds over from the other side. The top is blank, but essentially folds over to a back that's very much like the regular 4K back for the UK. And then your sides of the little cup part there are essentially identical, except for the product number, as what we got with the Blu-ray 3D one. The actual physical Steelbook is the exact same, right down to having the Blu-ray symbol at the bottom and no 4K symbol in this case. But when you open it, the discs that are inside are different. Of course, you have your bonus disc, you have your Blu-ray copy of the film, and then there's your 4K disc. And then behind it again, Battle of Crate. So once again, Zavvi proves to be the destination of choice for Steelbook fans in the UK. But Tesco Direct, that's where you go if you want this bad boy. The last of our UK releases to check out, this is the Last Jedi Big Sleeve Edition. And boy is it, right? About an LP cover size. Okay, we'll look at the little cardboard piece first as we did before. We have our ratings, Big Sleeve Edition. Quick preview of the contents, Star Wars The Last Jedi. Contains 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, Blu-ray bonus disc, exclusive 12-inch art cards. So the contents are essentially what you get either in the Zavvi Steelbook for 4K or the regular 4K release, outside of the cards, of course, as far as discs are concerned. Down there in the corner, Ultra HD Blu-ray and the Blu-ray symbol. Okay, nothing on the bottom. Then the back, also going into contents, lists the same things there. Preview of the contents up at the top. 3 images from the film, cast and crew information, kind of in gray underneath that. That same little blurb that we saw, even going back to the DVD copy, copyright information, vital stats for the discs, ratings, and UPC. We take off the cardboard slipcover. Now we've got just the regular big sleeve edition. Nice clean image there, right? Rey with the rocks. Resistance/rebellion symbol off to the side, kind of in superimposed there, and the logo. Down in the corner, it says artwork by Matt Ferguson. Flip it around. Kylo with the First Order symbol behind him. Logo again. Product number in the corner. Copyright in this corner. Your spine there. Lucasfilm 2017 Star Wars The Last Jedi. Ultra HD Blu-ray and Blu-ray symbols. Coolest thing, unfold it. There's your art for the entire thing, kind of like the UK junior novelization, right? Luke at the top. And here's your discs. Again, Blu-ray bonus disc, Blu-ray disc, 4K disc right there. And then you can go into your little side pocket and pull your art cards. Art cards this time are not just screenshots, okay? So we have BB-8 on one side here with the logo and copyright info. Then on the back of that, okay, the evil version of the droid, the one known as BB-8, I think it's BB-9E, but I still call him BB-8. Then you've got the Anakin/Luke/Rey lightsaber with Kylo's lightsaber on the back. Resistance helmet. First Order helmet on the back. And then finally, X-Wing and Special Forces TIE Fighter on the back of this one. So 4 art cards, but actually 8 different pieces of art, none of which are just basic screenshots like we've sometimes seen in the past. It's sort of the fancy schmancy edition for the UK, as long as you don't want a 3D disc. So once again, the UK gets kind of the same pattern that we've seen before, right? No digital copies, no pack-in DVDs with Blu-ray copies, but we do see the pack-in Blu-ray copies with 3D and 4K. We see multiple options across the board, including some retailer exclusives, some country exclusives like the Big Sleeve Edition, and of course the UK still getting 3D releases, whereas the US does not. The UK's selection when it comes to Last Jedi releases, I actually think may trump the US releases. That's probably because I'm a fan of the Big Sleeve Edition and 3D. What can I say? But if you were over on the other side of the pond, those were your options for The Last Jedi. Next episode, we'll take a look at the Movie Next Premium Limited Box Edition of The Last Jedi from Japan. With that, though, we'll wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers.